Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some bacon and pepperjack cheeseburgers. This dinner I actually made the week before. I didn't post a video this last Sunday because I didn't like how 2 of the meals came out, so I decided just to save the one meal and then put them together with 2 meals of this week. So on the side of the burgers, I just made some homemade potato wedges that I just cut up into some nice potato wedge shape. I'm just going to roast this in the oven, so I'm just spraying with a little bit of olive oil spray, and then I'm going to season with some garlic salt, some garlic powder, and some onion powder, and a little bit of everything seasoning. I'm just going to toss these all together, and then this will roast in the oven at about 350 degrees until they're nice and soft and golden. And then I'm just going to start on my bacon. I want to get this all cooked up before I cook the burgers. So I'm just going to cook 4 slices of bacon. That is plenty for me and the fiance. I plan on only using 1 slice. So I'm just going to continuously flip these back and forth until they are my desired texture for bacon. I don't like it too crispy. I do like it a little bit softer. So next I'm going to work on my ground beef. I just have 1 pound of ground beef. I'm just going to lightly season this with just some like garlic powder, Cajun seasoning, onion powder. I don't work with ground beef like this or make burgers too often, so bear with me. So I'm just going to mix this all around, and then I'm going to form this into 2 nice size hamburger patties and put them on the plate. So next I'm just going to cook the patties. This is 80-20 ground beef, so I don't even need to spray the pan. This will let out all of its own grease. This first one was a little rough, but we made it work. So after I flipped it, I just topped it with a slice of pepperjack cheese, let that melt down a little bit, and then I'm just going to cook the second one. This is definitely my better of the 2. So this is how it looked when it was done. We just added some onion and some lettuce, and I'm going to say this looks pretty fire. So this next dinner, I made some tostadas with some beans, shredded chicken, lettuce, guacamole, queso fresco, and a side of my Mexican rice. So I'm going to start out with my rice because this does take the longest. At the same time, I also do have a couple chicken breasts cooking in my Instant Pot. That way I will be able to shred it when it's done. So I am just toasting up 1 cup of white rice with a little bit of oil, making sure that is nice and golden before I add in my seasonings, which is some onion powder, some garlic salt, and some cumin. And then I'm just going to toast this around again and then add in my tomato sauce. Next, I'm going to add in my liquid. I'm going to add 2 cups of water and then 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon that acts as some chicken broth, and I'm just going to mix this all around. I'm going to bring this up to a rapid simmer or a boil and then turn the heat down and put a lid on it. So next, for one of the toppings for the tostadas, I'm just going to make a little bit of homemade guacamole. Nothing really fancy or crazy. I just used 1.5 avocados, and then I'm just going to squeeze in some lime juice, add a little bit of garlic salt, pepper, and onion powder. And that is how I make just a quick guacamole for a side or a topping. I may have eaten like half of this with chips already. Once the chicken was done, I just took it out of the Instant Pot, let it cool just a little bit, and now I'm just going to shred it up. I have 3 chicken breasts because we are going to have it for leftovers the next day. Once I do have it pretty much shredded, I like to add in some of the liquid from the Instant Pot. Chicken like this, shredded chicken likes to absorb liquid, so it'll just keep it nice and juicy. So now I'm just going to season the chicken some more. I did season it before it went in, but obviously some of the seasonings slide off. So I'm just going to use some taco seasoning, some onion powder, and some cumin. So the last step is to fry my tortillas. I'm just using some corn tortillas that I find in the grocery store, and I like to fry them myself rather than buy already fried tostada shells that are kind of just like chips. So I do recommend frying your own tortillas. This is how everything looked when it was done. Just super good. I added some refried beans on the bottom and the rice. I love Mexican food. The last dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some creamy chicken Primavera pasta and a slice of garlic bread. So I'm going to start out with my chicken. I'm just going to grill a couple slices of chicken. This is just actually 2 chicken breasts butterflied, so I have 4 pieces. So I'm just going to grill these on medium heat until the bottom side is nice and brown, and then I'm going to flip them and put a lid on it. Once I've removed the chicken, I'm just going to keep all of the juices that was left over to make the sauce. I just added in a little bit of butter, and now I'm adding in some heavy cream. So I'm just going to give this a nice mix, and then I'm going to add in some of my frozen vegetables. I'm going to use some peas. These peas I think were way too frozen. They were like stuck together. So I'm just going to add in a handful of peas, and then I will add in my green beans, which are fresh. So next I'm going to season my pasta sauce. I'm not adding too much seasoning. This isn't supposed to be too overwhelming, but I am just going to add in some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some garlic salt. Next, this is completely optional, but I just threw in like a spoonful of cream cheese. Honestly, if I didn't have this, I probably wouldn't have used it. I'm just going to stir this around till it's nice and melted. It kind of just adds a nice creaminess. I also am throwing in my green beans. So next, I just drained my pasta noodles that I had boiling. I just cooked 1 full pack of pasta. Now I'm going to add it back to the same pot that I cooked the pasta in, and I'm going to add the sauce on top. So after my chicken was resting, I just chopped it up into some nice slices. That way it looks like some nice grilled chicken thrown in the pasta. So I just tossed that in, and I'm going to mix this all around. I'm also going to add a little bit more heavy cream. I like to save just a little bit so I can add some nice creaminess at the end. So if I didn't add that little bit of cream cheese, this would be the only cheese that I would add to the pasta. Just some Parmesan cheese from the can, and this is it basically done. I just added some more salt to taste at the end. This is how everything looked when it was done. Just a nice pasta dish. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.